Jalen Hurts. Now, based on what you've been saying, you seem to be a little bit higher on Jalen Hurts than most people. Now, I think that Jalen Hurts definitely can become a starting quarterback one day. I think that he doesn't have elite arm talent, but there is a pretty good above-average arm, I would say. I really like his leadership qualities. His accuracy is good enough for me. He really improved as a decision-maker at Oklahoma, and from the time he got benched by Tua Tagovailoa in the national title game versus Georgia when Alabama was playing them to where he is right now, that's a totally different quarterback. So I do think that Jalen Hurts can develop one day into being a starter. Now in Philadelphia, I don't think that he's going to be a starter anytime soon simply because Carson Wentz is one of the 7 to 8 best quarterbacks in football, in my opinion, right now. And they didn't bring him in to be, the starting quarterback, I don't think. They clearly need a backup quarterback. Carson Wentz's health has been an issue the last couple of years, so they need a backup quarterback. But also, I think the Philadelphia Eagles realize that, hey, we got this guy in Jalen Hurts that can run some 2 quarterback sets with Carson Wentz. We can run some RPOs. I can only imagine a dream made in heaven for the Philadelphia Eagles when you have Jalen Reagor on the field, Marquise Goodwin, and Deshaun Jackson, and Jalen Hurts on the field with his ability to run the football in the RPO game, and he's not a bad thrower. I don't understand why Philadelphia Eagles fans are mad at that pick. I really don't. You clearly need a backup quarterback, and this guy, in my opinion, can be Taysom Hill plus. So, do you think that as an Eagles fan, that the fans should be mad about their pick? Because obviously they drafted Jalen Reagor. I thought they had a pretty good day 3 draft. Kind of talk about Jalen Hurts as a player first, then kind of talk about maybe how the Eagles are looking at as far as their team goes next year.
Yeah, and Jalen was my QB3 in this class for a reason, and it's almost like the polar opposite of Justin Herbert, where every single year you saw progression. Even when he was a backup at Alabama, he played significant snaps because they were blowing people out of the water every single week. So he was playing in the second half of, honestly, most of their games, really. And he was, believe it or not, the most accurate quarterback on down-the-field throws that year at Alabama. When he lost his job to Tua, he worked really, really hard. He came back. He was exceptionally accurate. But unfortunately, he had a quarterback in front of him that was a special player as well, so he just wasn't getting on the field. And then he transferred to Oklahoma, and even as a starter with a larger sampler size, he was, again, one of the most accurate quarterbacks in all of college football. On down-the-field throws, meaning 20-plus yards down the field, his on-target accuracy percentage was 3rd in the nation, just barely behind Joe Burrow. And in the year before that, he was higher than Joe Burrow. He was higher than Tua in both years, believe it or not. So he's a very accurate quarterback. His decision-making has gotten better every single year. Obviously, he's a great leader. He's a physical freak. He's excellent in terms of creating with his legs. Is he all the way there yet? No, but he's pretty damn close, and I think he could, if he was anywhere other than Philly, be a starter as a rookie and be okay. He wouldn't be great, but he would
kind of like Daniel Jones.
Yeah, very similar to Daniel Jones, but in my opinion, better. So I like if I was going to have to choose between Jones coming out of Duke and Jalen coming out of OU/Alabama, I would take Jalen because I think his ceiling is higher. Now, in terms of how he fits with Philly, this is where it's interesting because I put out an episode on the Eagles offense, might have been about a month ago, talking about Jalen Reagor and how they're really trying to build for speed and kind of copy the Kansas City model of, whether it's zone or man, if we're running 4 verts, everything turns into man, and we've got 5 guys that run 4-4 or better. So see if you can keep up. That's really what they're going for with Reagor. Obviously, Deshaun Jackson, John Hightower runs 4-4-3. Marquise Goodwin is a 4-3 guy. They draft another one, Quez Watkins is a 4-3 guy. The slowest guy on the team is probably going to be J.J. Arcega-Whiteside or Alshon Jeffrey, whichever one of them they decide to keep. So they really only have one big body guy and then 4 or 5 really fast ones. And so I think when you look at how Hurts fits in, they're going to be using Carson and all of these fast guys in between the 20s to just rip off huge chunks. They're going to be working RPOs with the tight ends. They're going to have Miles Sanders, pounding the rock. And then when you get inside the red zone, where all those small, fast guys maybe aren't quite as effective, that's when you start mixing in Jalen Hurts. his athleticism gives you what's called a +1 advantage in the run game, because if defenses have to account for the quarterback running, that takes somebody away from the run fit. So now you can kind of get even numbers in your blocking schemes, which then helps out Miles Sanders. And when the field is more compressed and that speed doesn't matter as much, that versatility in the run game is going to pay a huge dividend. And the fact that he's also an accurate passer and a better passer than Taysom Hill. So, imagine all the stuff that New Orleans has done in the red zone with Taysom Hill, and then add on to it. And then you also have an MVP caliber quarterback that gets them into the red zone in the first place. Like, this offense is going to be multiple. It's going to be really hard to prepare for. There's two quarterbacks that can do everything. And I think it's going to be really, really fun to watch. As long as the Eagles defense plays better than it did last year, like, this to me is a Super Bowl caliber team. Absolutely.
Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I currently am a freshman there right now. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.